White and the pledge to the flag by Jason Harris.
Precious Father, thank you for allowing us to be here today, Lord. I pray, Lord, that you'll be with each and every one of us to give us the wisdom to do the people's business. I ask you, Lord, to bless each family represented here. We love you in Christ's name. Amen.
Attention, pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the roll call will be on our iPad. Mine's not doing it either, or Jason's. And mine says response sent on mine. Is it?
Mine says.
What yours is?
Yeah.
Jason's voice it over.
Now it's telling me I'm logged out for lack of response.
Saying being logged out.
Everybody's logged out.
Yeah. Get logged back in.
Does that mean being logged out for lack of response?
I'll log back in.
Huh? This is blank here.
Yeah.
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 4 is to approve the minutes of the prior session. And there was a correction that was so noted in the work session. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the last month's session?
I'll make the motion.
Motion's been made by,
Do I
You're
hear it?
doing your iPads.
okay.
Yeah, Jason.
Okay, it says Gene
Jason's already
Wilson,
done it? Okay.
and second by Jason
We
Harris.
do it on the vote? Okay, it's okay.
Seven yes, 2 absent, motion carries.
Item number 5 is recognize visitors and citizens. If there's anyone that would wish to speak to the commission at this time, you're welcome to do so. We don't have a very large audience tonight. If not, if not, we will move on to item number 6, which is discuss the 2014-15 audit findings. And I did talk to the sheriff just a few moments ago. He is sick and he will not be here. And Mr. Shelton earlier in our work session went over his response to the audit findings in his office. And then the sheriff's office, I think, was the only other audit findings that we had. Are there any questions or comments? I guess we can plan maybe at our next meeting to address the questions that we had for the sheriff at that time. And I'll note that in on my agenda. Okay, we'll move on to item number 8. Item number 7. The Sheriff Department change to employee personnel policy. Accumulation of comped hours changed from 100 hours to 480 hours. And it says no vote is needed, and it says Walter Garland has requested to speak.
I make a motion, on number 7, that we defer number 7 till we need to look into that a little bit deeper, because I'm not good with 480 hours comp time for each employee. They said no vote needed, but I'm not sure of that either. I want to find out a little more about it.
What's your take on that, Mr. Schultz? Is that up to the sheriff?
Well, if we think back just a few months ago, we went through this with the Register of Deeds office. All county office holders can opt out of the policies once a year. That's the general policy. And Ms. Tittle did that, and I can't remember exactly what her issue was, but there was something about the way we structured the workday to suit her office. So she opted out of the county policy in one area, and that's what the sheriff, I think, is intending to do with this. To me, the letter is not really the change in the policy, and I told him that a month ago that he actually needs to go into the policy and write it the way he wants it, and then he'll have a new policy, and that's what's presented to y'all. It's not for your approval, though. It is, he can do his own policy. He has that right. You can't beat the sheriff for it. So he has the right to do his own policy. He still has to live within the budget that's set with his policy, but you can't micromanage the sheriff on what he does
So
with his
it's not
employees.
common
So,
sense.
but the long and short of it is that the letter doesn't change the policy, and I told him that. I didn't know, I told him what he needed to do is go to the policy and change it to read the way you want, and then that's what he submits to you, but he's not really submitting it to
Okay, who sets policy?
you. Each office holder can set their own policy. They can opt out of the county general policy once a year. They don't have to do the same policy. Each office holder has the right to opt out of the county. We have one great big policy that everybody's been under until just the last few months, then the register of deeds opt out of it, and now the sheriff's department is changing one part of that policy, but they've not gone into the policy and done that yet. So frankly, I think to the extent that he's going to change the policy, he needs to file that policy with the county commission.
So we do need to have this brought back before the commission in a,
It's not really for your all's approval, though. I don't think, it's just to file the policy with you, so.
He has to stay within the budget. He has to stay within his budget, correct?
Yes, he
He
still
can't
has
go
to
over.
stay within his budget.
Okay.
It doesn't change the budget.
What's the purpose in doing it?
So all these, say 480 hours, that's 12 weeks pay. As long as he has funds in his budget, if he's got 5 or 6 employees.
Yeah, I mean, the budget's set, each office holder has to live within their budget.
And he can't run a deficit, can he?
You're not supposed to, that's illegal.
Okay, it's illegal, okay.
So he can change the hours of employees, but you still have to live within your budget.
Well, just like, say if he's got 50 employees, he can't just set aside maybe 4 or 5 certain people. So that would go towards all his employees, right? But doing this.
Yeah, but only
Yes,
certain ones,
it's a
only certain ones
policy.
are getting contact.
Right, I know.
It's a policy for all
For
employees.
all of them, couldn't run his.
No,
It
it's
may
a
not
budget.
apply to administrators or that. Yes. So I guess long and short of it is you can talk about it. You can talk about it again next month.
yeah, hopefully he can bring back a changed policy or amendment to the personnel policy
But there's nothing, I'm sorry,
that we can vote, that we can vote on.
but there's nothing we can do that, if we want to stop it, correct?
Each office,
Yeah.
I
And the
mean, each
reason-
office holder has the right to opt out of the county general policy.
Is he doing this
Once a
because
year.
he's short of manpower? Is this why he's doing it, Mayor?
Well, I think that he's been having some officers going over 100 hours in the comp time.
Why is that? Because of the vacancies?
I understand that they started out as vacancies, I'm not sure why now, you can probably answer that, better than I can.
Right.
He's
The
got so
bottom
much.
line is, we feel like that at the end of the year, this would count, that comp time counts as a liability in his budget. In other words, his total budget has to still come within the amount of comp time he has and what he's already spent. So he may have spent $100,000 and have $120,000 worth of comp time, and he's got to have $220,000 to cover all that.
So, like this year's budget, none of these employees can carry his comp time over, can they? Can you feel
This
it?
year's budget,
They can carry it, just like you would.
Didn't we put a
Like
limit
we've got a
on there?
ceiling on sick leave and vacation, and that would be his ceiling on his comp time. Now, when audit does our year-end audit, we have to account for these things.
that's what I was trying to explain.
That's a
She said-
bigger liability in our year-end closing is we have, there's a lot of detail put into vacation. Sick, sick time rolls in, is not as big a deal because it rolls into retirement if you let it.
But your comp time and holiday and all
Yeah,
that.
we have to be accountable for that as a county.
So hopefully then we'll communicate with him and maybe at our next meeting, he can bring the policy forward and we can discuss it some more with him and see if he'll be able to try to hold the comp time down as low as he can, because it's, a liability of him as well as the county. Anyone else have any questions or comments? We'll move on then to item number 8, which is a resolution authorizing the issuance of the general obligation refunding bonds in the amount of approximately $1,860,000 for uniform savings for Unicoi County. The motion's been made by John Mosley and second by Gene Willis. Is there any discussion on this? Mr. McAnally spoke to most of us earlier. Any questions? I'm just glad that we are having a savings and are being able to cut the interest rate and save the county. He's afraid you'll break it.
7 yes, 2 absent, motion carries.
Item number 9 is the budget amendments for the Sheriff's Department, $9,703. Health Department's $2,670. And another one for the Sheriff's Department where they had the animal shelter truck that's going to be put back into their fund for $2,400. Motion's been made by Gene Wilson and second by Lauren Thomas. Is there any comments or questions? The sheriff did point out that that $1,000 was just a grant and that they were just going to give it to the Kiwanis for the Shop with Cops program.
Six yes, 2 absent, 1 no, motion carries.
Item number 10 is to discuss the December regular commission meeting.
motion to, have a meeting, because that's what the people elected us to do. And it's after Christmas, it shouldn't really bother, and as I said before, unless some of us are gonna be, we're not gonna have a forum to meet it, people might be out of town.
Motion's been made by Mr. Mosley and second by Mr. Thomas. Are you going to change the language?
The first time you're voting to have the meeting,
Okay.
and then if it's changed, I'll go in and edit and
Okay.
fix it. So this first one is to have the meeting. Five yes, two absent, one abstain, one no, motion carries.
So we will be having our December meeting on our regular commission night. I think that was on the 28th. Item number 10 was to, or item number 11 was to elect notaries. The motion's been made by Gene Wilson and second by John Mosley. Is there any comments or questions?
Seven yes, two absent, motion carries.
And item number 12 is motion for adjournment. Motion's been made by Lauren Thomas, second by Jason Harris.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So you vote on, or consensus on that? Okay. So the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, Robert.
Everybody have a good holiday.